Welcome back to Top Words. My name is Alicia, and in this episode, we're going to talk about 10 phrases you can use when going to the movies. Let's get started. Okay, the first word is ticket. Ticket. So we use the word ticket to refer to the thing we buy to gain entry to the movie theater. We need to buy a ticket. This can be a physical ticket, a paper ticket, and we can also have a digital ticket, like when we make an online reservation. So you need to have a ticket to get into the movie. For example, how much for one ticket? Okay, let's move on to our next expression. Next is one for movie, please. One for movie, please. So this is a really quick and easy expression you can use to ask for one ticket to the movie of your choice. So in this pattern, you just replace the movie part with the movie you want to see. So when you say one, it means one ticket. You don't have to say one ticket. You can just make it shorter. When you go to the movie theater to ask for the ticket, if you just say one, they will know what you mean. For example, one for Titanic, please. This means one ticket for the movie Titanic. So the preposition here is for. One for movie, please. Of course, you can make it two or three for as well, too, depending on how many people are in your group. Okay, let's move on to our next expression. Next is, I would like to choose a seat. I would like to choose a seat. Okay, so sometimes when you make a reservation for your movie ticket, you can choose the seat that you want to sit in. So if you want to do this, you can say, I would like to choose a seat. Typically, we don't do this when we come to the movie theater. Typically, we don't do this when we arrive at the movie theater and we choose our seats there. We might find this option available on the internet. For example, I would like to choose a seat near the middle of the theater. The next expression is side by side. Side by side. So you can use this to talk about seats that are next to each other. So when you make a reservation for a ticket online, you can say, I want our seats to be side by side, which means we're going to sit next to each other. So you might describe your seats as side by side seats. For example, can we sit side by side? You might hear people say, can we sit next to each other as well? But this side-by-side expression means that you are sitting with your sides next to each other's sides. That's where this side-by-side comes from. Okay, let's move on to our next word. Next is popcorn. Popcorn. Popcorn is the classic movie theater treat. It's a classic snack that we have with movies. Popcorn is something you can buy in probably every movie theater in the USA. People typically have it with butter and salt, but you may find caramel popcorn or other kind of crazy flavors too. Popcorn is like the classic movie snack. So even if we're not at the movie theater, we often make popcorn to enjoy with our movie at home. So in a sentence, I'm going to buy some popcorn. Okay, let's move on to our next expression. Next is 3D glasses. 3D glasses. Okay, what are 3D glasses? So you know what glasses are, right? So the accessory we use to see. 3D glasses are special glasses that we use at movie theaters sometimes. So sometimes you go to the movie theater to see a movie in 3D, 3 dimensions. So it looks like the movie is happening in front of you, not just on a flat screen. We have glasses that we get from the movie theater that we use to see the movie correctly. So you might need to put on your 3D glasses at a certain point in time. In that case, you can say, we have to put on our 3D glasses. So 3D glasses are a very interesting part of recent movie-going experiences. Okay, let's move on to our next expression. Next is box office. Box office. So a box office is the place where you get your tickets at the theater. We use it for movie theaters. You might also see it used at like an opera house or like a live playhouse as well. The box office is the place where you get your tickets. It doesn't have anything to do with like an office of boxes or anything like that. It's just kind of the reception area or the ticketing area. We call this space the box office. For example, we need to pick up our tickets at the box office. Okay, our next expression is surround sound. surround sound. So surround sound, maybe it's easy to guess the meaning of this expression. Surround sound is sound that surrounds a person. It's the sound that surrounds an audience. So when you go to see a movie in the movie theater, there are speakers all around the room. You are surrounded with sound. So surround sound is an important and exciting part of the movie-going experience. Of course, some people with lots of money can make surround sound systems in their homes. Here's an example sentence. I love the surround sound in movie theaters. Okay, let's go to our next expression. Next is subtitles. Subtitles. Subtitles are those words that appear on the bottom of the screen when you're watching a movie or when you're watching a TV show or maybe even when you're watching something on YouTube. Subtitles refers to a translation of the information that is being spoken on the screen. There's another thing that you might be familiar with, which are captions. Captions and subtitles are very similar. They're both words that appear at the bottom of the screen. Subtitles refers to a translation of the dialogue into the language you're reading. Captions is the same thing that's being said. So for example, if you're watching this video in English and you're reading the information at the bottom of the screen in English, you are reading captions of my words. If you're watching this video in English and you're reading the information in a different language, you're reading subtitles. This is the difference between subtitles and captions. So you may watch a movie in the theater with subtitles, but probably not captions. Okay? Here's an example sentence. Does this film have subtitles? Okay, let's go on to our next expression. Next is trailer. Trailer. All right, a trailer is a preview of a movie. So this is kind of an interesting word. We often think of the trail of something as being behind something, but a trailer is like a preview for an upcoming movie, or it's the preview of a movie that is now available to watch in theaters. We call this the trailer. For example, I love watching the trailers before the movie. So when you arrive at the movie theater to watch your movie, before your main event, before watching the movie, you'll often see a lot of different trailers for other movies that are coming out very soon. So watching the trailers is another part of going to the movie theater. All right, great. That brings us to the end of 10 phrases for going to the movies. What did you think? You can let us know in the comments. And of course, let us know if there are other expressions that you like to use when you go to the